Here we go. Here we go indeed. Welcome viewers. Welcome to the Let's Do Video live stream. I am David Maldo, the founder of Let's Do Video. And I got my adrenaline up. I'm excited today because this is a really interesting stream we're going to have because something came across my LinkedIn feed. And it was one of those things where, am I reading that right? Because a company called VSee, which I've been following for a while, they're a video conferencing company. I remember from back in the day, they always had a unique approach to problems. When bandwidth is an issue, they had very efficient ways to deal with frame rates and bandwidth. Interesting company to follow. And I know they've been involved in video and telehealth. And it said they're going to offer free telehealth to a number of people. And I'm like, oh, so free use of the platform? No, free telehealth, like free you can talk to a doctor. So I'm like, hold on, Milton Chen, I need to invite you to my meeting room. Let's get into the meeting room here and let's get a little closer. And Milton, before we get into the details, could you please introduce yourself and your company to our viewers? I didn't have your audio working at first, so people might have missed the first 30 seconds. I could summarize. VSee was a traditional video conferencing company, and they got involved in, and correct me if I got it wrong, but getting involved in telehealth, they realized there were a lot of other things that were related that they can help to wrap around it. So you get a full telehealth solution instead of, okay, I got the video, but now I have to do and maybe you could restate what those other elements were that were of processing and forms and data and.
So the basic problem we're solving is, like today, right? Like pretty much all the doctors, they use Zoom or Microsoft Teams or like Cisco or WebEx to video conference for telehealth. But the problem with that, if you use that, your productivity goes down. So you have a lot of physician burnout. I'll give you a thought experiment. Let's say I'm your doctor, you arrange a call with me, and you have an audio issue. Now, me as a doctor, what do? Do I roll on my sleeve, say, "Oh, David, can you go to that thing?" Imagine if I'm a busy doctor, if I do, how many times would I do that until I say, "Ah, how about like even if I'm on a video session, I want to know like, David, can I take a look at your blood pressure? Let's compare that from the last time 3 months ago. Great, you're doing great." Like just all the things that people need in the actual medical office right now is missing. Because of that, there's a huge decrease in productivity. That's why physicians, they're like they literally tearing their hair out. I can't wait. I'm already overworked. Now I need to make my productivity 30% even lower. So that's where we come in. So we come in is to say, how we have the concept is, how do you turn a physician or nurse into a superhuman in terms of productivity, right? Same 8-hour work, now you could do 50% more in productivity. So we create a bunch of tools around that to achieve that.
And what's included in those tools in addition to the video conferencing part?
So great question. So everything that happens in the actual medical. So first is you could do a remote physical exam. We connect with medical devices. You can listen to my heart, lung sound, do an ENT exam. You can examine my skin. You can even do ultrasound. You could also look at forms. For example, I could look at all the different intake form charts and so on. What I can also do is I can have the patient connect to my front desk. Front desk will route the patient to me when the patient's ready. I could take patient out of order. I could place the patient on hold, take another emergency call, and so on. So again, just pretty much everything that happens in the physical doctor office, all the tools the doctor expect, now is at your fingertip.
I was going to say it sounds a lot like when I go to the office physically. There's a very strong connection. They're just across the hall from each other from where I sit and talk to the doctor, and where the staff is dealing with all of my forms and the scheduling and referrals and everything else. Mm-hmm. And I guess at the beginning of the pandemic, it was probably hard for a lot of doctors. Okay, now I'm on video, I'm talking to my patient, but wait a minute, where's all the data that I usually have? They usually have all this information. How do they get that?
Yeah, I'll give you a sense. For example, like I know from your background to all the way going to the video conferencing industry in there, right? So I'll say like 10, 20 years ago, they had a big buzz with unified communications in there.
Yes.
So VSee takes that same thing to. I'll give you an example, right? So I have like the Sutter Health locally for healthcare system, they use Epic in there, right? So if you do a telemedicine appointment, the nurse first calls you, say, "Oh, are you all set up? Are you ready to go? Okay, hang up in the." So like, so in the VC system, right? If you need to send a text or call the patient, just click a button on the web dashboard. We send a text. We'll do a video call. And then talk on the phone, we could do secure video for HIPAA compliant. So just all these things at your fingertip. So then this make it easy to coordinate patient early for the appointment, late for the appointment. They want to change the appointment, just like they want to update the insurance information. Your friend that can verify insurance, like just all those things is part of our toolkit.
Nice. And it's good to have it all in one system. I think, I saw with my doctor, they had their existing system and then they tried to use a video overlay and there was, it was like sometimes they weren't really working together. So I would get a text from one and then I get an email from another and then I get a phone call from a third. And it's all about the same appointment and it's all from the same doctor, but three different systems that she was using to try to pull everything together. It's like, maybe you should try to get one thing to bring it together.
Exactly. That's where we come in. So right now, what happens because the physician office, they have the disjoint tools in there. Ended up is you have all these people like they're plugging. In our case, just like give you a unified system. You could do all these things in one tool.
So the people that we're looking to talk to, the people that should be looking after you and interested, we're talking to, big hospitals or small. Like, is it My Doctor? Or is it?
Yeah, we work with, we have basically two concepts in the VC. We have the concept of individual physician. We can turn you into a superhuman, like in terms of productivity in there. At the same time, we also enable a network of physicians, like in the hospital or medical group, they can all be efficient. So for example, we have a way you can have, let's say, merge everyone's calendar together. It's easier for patient to book appointment. We have an internal referral system. You could take a patient from maybe primary care, refer to the specialist. Again, there's a bunch of workflow that designed for hospital to be efficient as well.
Okay, so obviously, I'm very happy with the idea of our doctors using this and being more efficient, more productive, being able to see more patients and give me better quality of care. But what was this thing I saw on LinkedIn about free something? I'm in South Florida, so my friends from South Florida should be paying attention. This was a South Florida thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what's going on here?
Yeah, thanks. So our company, we do a lot of medical volunteer work. So for example, I've been to Iraq 3 times. I've been to
Oh,
Syria. I work in Philippine orphanages before. I've been to Africa a dozen times. So each time I fly back to San Francisco, it was always like, there's a lot of people in the US who need a little more assistance too. So that's a concept that Aimee come about. So what we want to do is we want to create a service. Our vision is to say every American, if you live in the US, you can see a doctor for free. Like it doesn't matter you have insurance or no insurance, so which literally says you're physically American, you can see. But we just feel like if you think the demographics, right? Now most people do have insurance, but there's about 80 to 100 million Americans who either have high deductible plans or they have no insurance. So practically for them to see a doctor, you're talking about $100 out of pocket or more. So we just felt like no American should be able to choose between do I see a doctor or buy some gift for their kids for Christmas and so on. So that's a concept of Aimee. And what we're very grateful is we got some funding from the state of Florida. So we're giving away 4,000 free doctor visits for free to anyone in Florida. And
wow.
now this is a pilot. We're pretty excited. We're hoping that this is successfully done, then we could get additional funding sources. This will become just ongoing.
Yeah, I would love to see that grow because it definitely is. I don't remember what the current percentage is, but whatever percentage of Americans are uninsured, that doesn't tell the full story because it's expensive, and we have this weird culture of we shouldn't. I don't want to go to the doctor unless it's really bad, right? I don't want to go through my deductible, all this stuff. I don't want to go unless it's really bad. And sometimes it's like if I went, I'd feel a lot better. If I went, I feel just to go to make sure that thing you're worried about is okay. And there's a lot of people that are just dealing with that stress, and especially just they just can't afford it. And 1.5 hour talking to a doctor can take a load off for the rest of the year. You can get to work, you know?
Exactly. And that's, I just feel like for there are enough of people like what you just describing that just give them an option, right? Again, just no question asked. There's no strings attached. We just want to say you need to see a doctor. You can see a doctor again for free.
Yeah, I'd love to see this, expand. Um, like, I said the goal is every American. I'd like it to really be every American, but that would have to be a much bigger program. We'll have to build on our successes to get there, I guess.
Yeah, well, in fact, I think Dave, I'm hoping to count on your help as well. I know you like as you distribute this video podcast, as get more people, so we can again we need to keep these 4,000 doctor visits away by the end of May. So again, we have like a 2.5 months to get in there. So if we do successfully give away all these, my hunch is we have a pipeline of sponsors and donors who can step in, then we can make this a ongoing program for all Florida and the rest of the country as well.
So maybe I bury the lead. We should start with, if you're in South Florida and you'd like to have a free, and I joke around and I'm smiling and having fun. It's good to see Milton. But in all seriousness, if somehow this came across your YouTube, this came across your Twitter, and you're like, well, I live in South Florida, I really would like to see a doctor, please check out, where can they go to learn more? I'll put the link in the bottom. But
yeah, the URL is just seeaimee.com. You can just go there, you can book appointment and just
and that's SEEAIMEE.
EE.
What does Aimee stand for again? AIMEE?
It doesn't actually stand for anything.
Oh.
We just thought, that's our team. We're trying to figure out things in there. We just thought we want to have like just person's name, something a little more friendly. We want to eventually say, like, you need to see a doctor. How about go see Aimee first?
I was going to say, it does sound very friendly. So.
Yeah, we just want to make it like really, healthcare also is very stressful for people.
Yeah.
For example, we have very friendly virtual friend desks. When you go to see Aimee, you connect to our virtual friend desk. They take your information, making sure, okay, great, okay, based on condition, we're going to pair you out with appropriate physician. They can just give you a really good experience.
I'm just feeling the sense of relief, just knowing the feeling that I feel when I finally get around to going to the doctor, and then, yeah, it's really it's a load off. So I'm hoping people will see this. And is there anything else you want to share before we head off? We're gonna have to have you back. This has been too much fun. So we're gonna have to have you back, and we're gonna have to have you back because I want to get the results from this program once it's all over. But anything else you want to share before we?
I think basically our team will be at the Orlando next week for the HIMSS conference. If any of the audience members will be at HIMSS, definitely just come by to our booth at the show to come say hello in there. But other than that, just go see Aimee and get some free doctor visit. Hopefully, definitely tell all your family and friends in there. We're very specifically to able to reach out to things like the veterans community, the senior living in those communities. Just again, so any of these are underserved community where we want to make it so easy for them to have access to healthcare. Yeah.
And just one little, I must say, I gotta be honest with my guests here. This is the first VSee call I've done in a while. I have done them before. I've downloaded the app before, but I haven't been covering as much as I should. And downloaded it, installed it, first call, and however long we've been talking, you see for yourself. And I apologize for the audio hiccup at the beginning. That was just a setting that I had wrong on my side. And hey, that's part of streaming. Part of my job, I want to normalize this stuff. I want you guys to be comfortable with streaming. Yes, even professionals make a mistake and have a button muted. But I hope it didn't take away from it too much. So thank you all, and we will see you again soon.